Good morning. My name is Rev Kylie Renner, and on behalf of the entire One Spiritual Center community, I want to welcome you here today. Thank you for bringing your love and your light into this space. So I don't know about any of you, but I am experiencing major spring fever right now with this amazing weather. And there's a part of me that wants to jump through this intervening space, wants to move through this time where, it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and wants to get to the flowers and the budding and the colors returning. And so I've been really present to watching that because there's something really interesting about our tendencies as human beings to not want to be where we are, to make up any excuse not to just be right in the middle of whatever's going on. And we have all kinds of ways to get around this. We have all kinds of coping mechanisms. But what I recognize is that ultimately there's something powerful about being willing to confront the fact that we don't want to be where we are, and here we are. Mary Oliver said it beautifully. She said, "I know you didn't plan on being here, but here you are." And I love that idea that says, well, here I am. What am I going to do with what's right in front of me? And so today's all about that from the perspective of gratitude. And so if there's something going on in your life where your tendency is to want to be anywhere other than that, whatever that is, you're in the right place this morning. So thank you for being here. And we are going to start with centering. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, please do so. And maybe take a breath with me, maybe being conscious of your breath for the first time today. That beautiful process in which your body takes whatever it needs to perfectly function from the air around you and then just releases anything not useful. That beautiful miracle that's happening all of the time without you needing to even think about it. This process of giving and receiving. And so as we bring our attention to our breath, we bring attention to what it feels like to be alive today. We bring attention to anywhere where we're holding on to that which wants to be let go of, or where we're fully welcoming that which is. And I just take this opportunity to remember the power and the presence of the One, moving and guiding us, that One that has brought us all together in community today, to remember and to remind each other of the power that is bigger than any one of us, that so loved us that it shot us here through all of eternity to be here together now. And so I just breathe into the preciousness of being here together, the preciousness of this human life. And I'm grateful in advance for all that is shared in this space today. I know that it is good, and I let it be.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Prepare the way for meditation this morning. I've chosen a poem by Mary Oliver. It's entitled "The Place I Want to Get Back to." The place I want to get back to is where, in the pine woods, in the moments between the darkness and the first light, two deer came walking down the hill. And when they saw me, they said to each other, "Okay, this one is okay. Let's see who she is, and why she is sitting on the ground like that, so quiet as if asleep or in a dream. But anyway, harmless." And so they came on their slender legs and gazed upon me, not unlike the way I go out to the dunes and look into the faces of the flowers. And one of them then leaned forward and nuzzled my hand. And what can my life bring to me that could exceed that brief moment? For 20 years I have gone every day to the same woods, not waiting exactly, just lingering. Such gifts bestowed can't be repeated. So if you want to talk to me about this, come to visit. I live in the house near the corner, which I have named Gratitude. And so we're just going to take this lingering that we do in meditation, not expecting necessarily, just lingering, and we are going to allow Spirit to take us wherever it takes us today.
Our special music this morning, we're always thrilled to have Marilyn Hubbard here. Marilyn is here.
Take it a long way. How are you doing on this beautiful February morning? You know, I like what Kylie just said about being in a place and you don't want to be in that place. Or sometimes there are places you want to go back to. And so I picked these two songs to kind of remind people that you can find hope in your Creator. You can find hope in a lot of different places. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming over me, coming for to carry me home. Way down yonder in the middle of the field, angels working on the chariot wheel. I ain't so particular about a work in the wheel. I just wanna know how the chariot feels. Oh, let me fly. Oh, let me fly. Oh, let me fly unto Mount Zion. Lord, Lord, Lord. I got my mama in the promised land. I just can't wait till I shake her hand. I ain't so particular about a shake in the hand. I just wanna get to the promised land. Ooh, yeah. So let me fly. Oh, let me fly. Oh, let me fly on to Mount Zion.
That's Marilyn Hubbard.
Excuse me, Demi. Pardon me. Thank you, thank you. So I just want to preface all of this today in acknowledgement that there are some people in this room going through unspeakably hard things. And so if you have a little bit of extra love to pour over people today, please do so, because there's room for that today. One of the privileges and blessings of being a minister is that I get to know some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. And so we got some love needed today. All right. So one of the other blessings of being a minister has been that I've been doing talks around the same concepts for the last 15 years. And I have files and files and files of the notes that I've taken and the stories I've found, and I keep going back to them to see if I can pull things out as I've evolved and changed. And I actually have to tell you that I am ashamed of some of the things that I have taught. Right? Like, I was looking through some of my notes and I'm like, that is bullshit. That is, in fact, I mean, it sounds good, and it was what, everyone was spouting at the time, but really, like, wow, that was ridiculous. So a lot of what I've been looking at is about this concept of gratitude and how that is used in New Thought circles, because honestly, oftentimes I feel like gratitude is used as a bypass. Like, I want to get to gratitude about this. It sucks. I hate it, but I want to be in gratitude, so I'm just going to pretend that I'm grateful for it, when I'm really not. And so one of the statements that I came across in my notes was that you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time, and I said, bullshit! You can be all kinds of things at the same time. In fact, that's what is brilliant and complex about being a human being, is that we can be really joyful and really sad at the same time. We can be scared and we can be clear and we can have no idea what's going on. Like, all of it can happen at the same time. And so I was actually thinking that the most powerful gratitude in my life includes a little fear. It includes fear because that is the gratitude that comes from the place that knows that I'm being pulled into something I don't know about yet. And so I actually came up with the title of this talk a few years ago, and it's actually called "Thank You for Being a Pain." And my husband was looking over my shoulder, and he said, "Can you please not give that talk right now?" Because what happens, right, when I start to talk about something is that I get to have the experience of having to be grateful for the pain. And he's like, I need a break for a minute, so can you not? And so I didn't. But what I realized when I was going back through is that it's time, right? It's time to talk about being grateful in the midst of pain, or for the pain, or because of the pain, and not in spite of it. And I believe that this is where I diverge from a lot of New Thought teachers, because a lot of New Thought teachers will teach you that the whole point of this philosophy and study is to get away from the pain, like to make it stop happening, to pray it away, to get it to go away. And I personally think that that's a misuse of our power. Because if our power is about just trying to make it go away and pushing it away, and that's how we're using it, then we're not actually digging through and having that experience of what that pain is meant to show us, what the curriculum is. So Ram Dass talked about pain as a curriculum. And I love that idea that it's a curriculum that somehow we've signed up for in some level, so that we learn from it, not so that we learn how to push it away or not experience it, but that we actually learn from whatever that is. And I want to acknowledge that especially if you're in pain right now, this sounds like utter and complete nonsense, and I love you and I feel you, and I believe in it that if we're going to be whole human beings, like full whole human beings, that we have to let in some of the ways that we have pushed away pain in the past. in order for us to actually get to a deeper part of what we're really here to do and be. So when I started to think about like why I think we're sent here, right? Like the infinite love of the infinite shot us here through all of eternity to be here. Why? And from my own personal experience, I have to say that I do not believe it was just so that we could be comfortable all the time. That's a very limited idea of what we're here to do and be and to experience, that we're here with all of these personal questions, these personal ideas that are propelling us forward. And we're here to examine these questions in a deeper way. And one of the ways we do that is through our suffering. It's through our challenges. It's through our pain. It's not by avoiding them. And so when I was thinking back over the years to some of the conversations I've had with people, I came back across this conversation I had about gratitude with someone who had been through a lot of loss. And they kept telling me that they didn't want to experience any more because that meant that they were going to have to experience more loss. And I sat there with this, with this human in deep pain, acknowledging that yes, there's some point where we're dissatisfied with something because we're really deeply ungrateful, but there's this other aspect of being unsatisfied that actually comes from our devotion to knowing that something can be better. And I want to say that again. Like there's a difference between in being not grateful because we're just dissatisfied, like the world isn't going the way we want it to, or I didn't get the parking spot I wanted, or someone was being rude. That's a different kind of being ungrateful. There's this other kind of gratitude that can well up from just being simply dissatisfied because we know that there is a devotion and a love and a yearning for something more, not just for ourselves, but for other people. And so I'm actually open to the idea that I don't have to be grateful, right? Right? I mean, what people will tell you is how you get out of a rut is be grateful. But what if I'm not grateful? What if I know that we can do better? What if I know that there is justice that needs to happen? What if my love for community and for all of humankind and this planet says, actually, we need to do better, and I am dissatisfied with how we are doing, and I am ungrateful for the direction that is going, and how can I use that? Not as saying that there's something wrong, I need to get to gratitude about it, but actually there's a power behind that. There's healing power behind our dissatisfaction. And so I've been looking at that, that idea, not wanting to have to experience more loss, not wanting to have to feel so much or hurt so much or see so much. And there's this divine urge, though, that says to lay it all bare and to be willing to look at it because there are things that are ready to shift. And they're showing up through our pain. They're showing up through the challenges that are in front of us. And if we are not willing for the curriculum to teach us and take us, then we will be missing the point. And we will just be experiencing the pain without actually the learning that is behind it, without actually the power that's behind it to actually change things. And so I've just been noticing that it feels like there's an opportunity to recognize that is on some level, there's just a preciousness to being able to be on this planet right now. We're in some part of the curriculum that looks really interesting. As it's a very interesting aspect of the curriculum that we're going through collectively. And so, what is it that we are willing to see into? How can we move our divine discontent in a direction that says, I'm going to move from this place that I am to some place that instead holds power? So Rumi said it beautifully in this short poem of his, And usually only the first part of it is quoted. And I'm going to read the first part first because I think it's sweet, but then there's more to it. So this is the first part. Keep walking. Keep walking though there is no place to get to. Don't try to see through the distances. That's not for human beings. Move within, but don't move the way fear makes you move. So that's where it usually stops. And I love that idea, like move, but don't move the way fear makes you move. That there's a choice there, that we get to feel the fear and the pain, but we don't have to necessarily move the way that makes us move. But this is where it keeps going. He says, today, like every other day, wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door to the study and begin reading. Take down the musical instrument. Let the beauty we love be what we do. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Let the beauty of we love be what we do. And so this is where I get back to gratitude, even in the midst of pain and even in the midst of being ungrateful for things, is this sense of letting the beauty we love be exactly what we do, what we are putting our attention on, what we're allowing to grow, what we're allowing to transform. And we get to keep on getting back to this place every time we get in the midst of a situation or a challenge where it feels like we don't want to be grateful for it. There's an opportunity to say, where do I find something more about who I am in this? Where is it leading me? What do I need to know about myself? What I came here to do, what my questions are, that this curriculum can teach me. So I keep on going back to this affirmation I came across years ago, and I loved it so much because it was so different from the ones I had been taught in the tradition I was trained in. And the affirmation includes a sigh. So it's, here comes another one. God, I ask you to guide me. You have sent this to me for a reason. Help me know what it is, and help me cope successfully. and ultimately, sometimes that's really what we have to ask for, is just figuring out how to maneuver it. So I think some of you will remember Kurt Vonnegut famously used the phrase "rang-rangs" to describe what he called his great teachers that came in to his life disguised as difficulties of any kind. They're called rang-rangs, and I love that. Like, here comes another rang-rang, and we're in the midst of a rang-rang, and we're in and the beauty of it, though, is that they're recognized as teachers, not things to avoid. So these are actually blessings, and so we can say thank you for being such a pain in my ass, right? Thank you for that experience. Thank you for what it is showing me about who I really am, what I've come here to do and be, and how powerful it is to just allow for that to happen in a different way. Not trying to pray it away, not trying to force it out of our experience, but to actually welcome it as an opportunity to allow it to teach us whatever it wants to teach us. And so I think we're doing something powerfully collectively right now. I think it's happening in our country, and that's what I can see most clearly, but I think it's happening everywhere. I think that the planet is doing this, that there's a lot of things being reflected back at us that are teaching us from that perspective of, like, I am not grateful for this, that there's something else that I know is possible, and I'm willing to be grateful for that in advance, but until it gets here, I'm going to fight like hell to get there. I'm going to stand for everything that I know to be true so that we can be there. And I think that the power of this moment that we're in is that it's coming from so many directions. internally and externally, and it's bringing it up and reflecting it in so many different mirrors in our lives that we cannot ignore it. Right? I feel like there's all kinds of things that we may have ignored in the past or thought, well, I'm just going to skip right to gratitude and I'm going to be grateful, and it's just not possible right now. So what do we have to do then, right? What are we called to do when we're having all these things reflected back onto us that are actually calling us to anger and to being willing to push something that maybe we weren't willing to push before, and to call out something maybe we weren't willing or had the courage to call out before, and what I know to be true is that if we're here right now, we're ready for this. And we're here together ready to do this transformational work. But it requires us to stop making sure or it's calling on us to make sure that we're not skipping ahead to some place where we're not yet. So I'm not yet ready to be grateful for the bullshit, right? And that's important. And the complexity of our human experience is actually a gift. That it is actually a gift that we don't know the right answers. It's a gift that problems come without immediate and apparent solutions. It's a gift that we get to feel all of the things that we get to feel. It's a gift. And there's an opportunity for us to remember that we're not here to just find the right answer and be done with it. That actually we're here to have all of these different experiences and have all of these different questions and all of the different nuances of it, and that's the fullness of our human experience requires us to let it all in. And so I don't know. Maybe you're in some part of your life where you're able to see some gratitude for things shifting, or maybe you're in that part that just says that I know that I am divinely discontent about this. That there's something in me, my love and my devotion to the one knows that it's possible that we do things differently, and it's that part of you is calling. And whatever that is, I just know that there's power behind it. And that it is part of the curriculum, and that we're ready to answer it in a deeper way. So if I can find it, and I didn't throw it away, I threw it away. But I'm gonna try and remember the story. So this is a story about from the Buddhist tradition about a king who had a servant who found this very valuable stone. And he was trying to figure out who to give it to. There were a lot of people who needed lots of things in the kingdom, and he was trying to figure out who would be most benefit from this. And so he went to the Buddha to ask him, who should I give this to? And the Buddha said to give it to the king. And the king was really confused because he was the richest guy in the world at the time. And so he asked the Buddha why he was given this stone. And the Buddha said, I gave it to you because you least know how to use it, but best can. And I think that for me, when I heard those lines, it was a reminder of the pain that I've been given, that the challenges I've been given. I least know how to use it, but I best can. Like there's something in me that has something to learn from this. That I actually have something. I don't know how to do it in the moment, but there's something in me that needs it. That knows how to use it and knows how to use it in the best way somewhere. And so I think that's a perspective just to take into whatever challenges we're experiencing, is this idea that I don't know how I'm supposed to maneuver with this. right? I don't, like it's in my life and I don't know what it's trying to teach me or where it is leading me, but there's something in me that can best use it. And so I'm going to accept the gift and then figure out how to best use it, how to best allow for its wisdom to move me. So there we are. And it is perfectly spiritual to be ungrateful. I'm going to say it. Perfectly, powerfully spiritual to just say, no, I'm actually not grateful. There's great power behind that, just as there's great power behind gratitude. So I'm going to ask the band to come up because we're going to sing into our prayer today. And as we prepare the way, I'm going to ask you to maybe think of something that's a challenge right now. Some part of your life that whether you're dissatisfied with it because it just doesn't feel the way you want it to, or because you know something more is possible. And I'm just going to invite you to take that to this place that says you're allowed to welcome it in, to feel it, to learn from it, to transform it. Whatever that is. So please join me as we sing into our prayer.
Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free.
So our prayer of love today is a prayer of being whole human beings who are ready and capable of experiencing all of the love and the joy and the challenges that come before us in this human experience. And I just recognize that Spirit is guiding us in all of it, is supporting us in seen and unseen ways. And so we allow for the curriculum to be one in which we allow ourselves to dive more deeply than ever before into the truth of who we are and what we've come here to be. We dive into our questions. And we're unwilling to skip over the parts that feel challenging or to bypass them anyway because we recognize them for what they are, which are our teachers. Our teachers sometimes in disguise. And so whatever is in front of us, I just recognize that it has the power to reveal to us more love and peace and power and wisdom than we ever imagined possible. And I just let it in. Knowing that the divine is big enough for whatever challenge or pain that we could be experiencing. There is a higher power that is big enough to contain it all. So I just lean into all of it. And how sweet it is just to know truly that we are loved and guided through all of our transformation, and that all of it is in the direction of a greater good, not only for ourselves, but for life itself. That as we heal, we transform the systems and the situations that then impact all things. And so I use the power of Spirit to guide. And I know that it is good. And so I let it be. And so it is.
Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, and sets us free. Once again, the lovely Marilyn Hubbard is here. Live on this very stage. Right here. No, we don't have a chart. I was looking for the chart. There's no chart.
Just give me a C, a bouncy C.
Play it in the key of C. We'll be good.
Just leave it to me. Don't be ashamed. Just give me a chance. I'll take care of everything. Your troubles I share. Let me know, I'll be there. Oh, I'll stay close to you. Any place, anywhere. So shake a hand, shake a hand. And shake a hand, shake a hand. Shake a hand, shake a hand. Shake a hand if you can. So be truthful to me. And I'll be truthful to you. Oh, I'm in love with you. And I don't So let's call it a day. I've said all I've had to say, except don't forget to pray and shake a hand every day. So shake a hand, shake a hand, shake a hand, shake a hand, yeah. Shake a hand, shake a hand, shake a hand, shake a hand.
That's Marilyn Hubbard.
How do you do that without a chart? I don't know.
Yeah, really.
You don't either? Yeah. I'm one of those musicians that need to have it right in front of me. So now's the time where we move into the sharing of our tithes and offerings. I invite you to take whatever it is you brought to share with this community today and hold it over your heart. And I invite you to give it a silent blessing, whatever that might be for you today. Maybe there's some aspect of your wholeness that you are willing to open to this whole human experience. To let it in, to let it guide you, to let it teach you, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's scary, even if you don't know the answer. And we just allow for Spirit to guide us in this, knowing that it will. And we allow that wisdom to move. And so I invite you to just let that wisdom in as we sing together and our ushers come through the aisles.
I see trees of green, red roses too, and I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, they're also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
So please join me as we bless everything that has been offered into this space today. The tears, the smiles, the questions. I just know that Spirit is present, it is guiding us, that it will continue to do so. And so we just open ourselves to whatever the curriculum is that is in front of us, knowing that it is unfolding in a perfection that is bigger than we can see. And we are willing to learn and to grow and to transform, not only for our own good, but for the good of all creation. And I just know that we're supported in this. And so I let it be. And so it is. Thank you. So I have so many announcements today, I had to make a list because I knew I was going to forget something. So first off is that our 2019 donation letters are over at the info table, so you wanted to pick one of those up. If you gave in an identifiable way last year, there should be one over there for you, and then I will be mailing the rest of them out this week. Just found out this morning that our regular Community of Hope cooking that would happen next Saturday has been canceled because there is a kitchen snafu. Yes, that's the nicest way to say it. So the kitchen we usually use is occupied. So we will not be cooking next Saturday, which is great because I have 5 million things happening next weekend, and so I'm going to take a break. This is Spirit giving me a little bit of room. So thank you. So no Community of Hope next week. But we do have something special on Sunday after service. So at 2 p.m. right here, we will be having a memorial service for beloved Annie. So a lot of you have been asking when that was going to be. And so 2, right here. So you know where to go. You know the drill. And we will be... Antonio, I'm gonna share what you told me. So Antonio told me a few weeks ago when I was talking about Annie and having sat with her and the family as she was, transitioning and that whole thing and what I've learned from her. He said that he had a teacher in New York that talked about the fact that when someone is dying, basically everyone who comes around. In the memorial and all of that is packing the person a good lunch because they're about to go on a beautiful trip, and I loved that idea that we're gonna pack some supplies for Annie on the journey that she's on. So that's what we'll do on Sunday, next Sunday at 2. So come to church and then come back at 2. And then, lastly, I'm still really excited about this. So I've been telling you that the Outpost generously has put our amazing band on their spring calendar for one of their concerts. So on March 12th, on March 12th, we get to show off what we do here on Sundays to a bigger audience. So at 7:30, March 12th, it's a Thursday night. We will have these amazing musicians along with Carla Terwilliger and Tracy Whitney and Patty Littlefield. So Paul Gonzalez, woo, yay! We'll have a horn section. We just aren't sure exactly what that horn section is going to be. So we're excited about that. Tickets are available right now on the Outpost website. You can go there, or I'm going to go ahead and buy a block of tickets so that we can sell them here. So those will be available soon. But we're really excited about that because I don't know about you, but I think more people need to hear these guys. Yeah. And the Outpost is... All right, so March 12th. And that's what I have on my notes. Does anyone else have an announcement I forgot? Did I forget something, Zephyr? No. Roadrunner is not this month. There. Yeah, so February we're back to everything in March. But yes, there was also a scheduling conflict there as well. So, thank you. Let us sing.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith, you hear that diesel humming. You don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright. People get ready for the train to Jordan. It's picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board 'em. There's room for all that love the most. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright. Let's give thanks to the Lord and we can feel alright. Go forth and walk in beauty and know that we are young.